Hello everyone! So today we are talking knitwear design with Camille Descôteaux. Hello Camille!
Hi.
Hello! So you were less surprised this time with
Yeah.
Thank you for being here today at lunch. I think it's our first time in the daylight, so I'm very glad to be speaking with you today. Maybe we can dive right in, and if you want, maybe to talk us through your journey as a designer, because you are, in my opinion, one of the top designers of knitwear in Quebec. And I would like to know how you, first of all, discovered knitting, and then how you came to design your own projects.
All right. So I started knitting when I was a kid, just like I learned how to knit. I made like some garter stitch scarves, and then after I dropped knitting for maybe a couple of years, and I got back to it when I was at school at the university. I started making some hats and headbands, but nothing really. But someday I had to wait at the metro station, which is next to La Maison Tricotée. So while waiting, I just went in and I saw some gorgeous yarn, and I picked one and brought it home, and I wanted to make socks out of it. And I just YouTubed like a tutorial how to make socks, and I had a pattern as well at the same time. So I was like doing the pattern and learning on YouTube, and I just made socks with like a real yarn. Not that the other ones were not real, but to me, that's what changed my knitting journey, if I can say it.
Yeah, to be working with a good type of yarn and
a hand-dyed yarn, yeah. And that was not just some random yarn from Walmart. This time it was like really soft and so pretty and squishy. So yeah.
I kind of do the same thing at La Maison Tricotée, maybe at around the same time when you went inside the store, maybe.
Yeah, so it was maybe like December or November 2016. So
yeah, I think I was around that time, and I also discovered that the wool at La Maison Tricotée, and I also picked a random skein just because I found it so pretty. It was Cat's Riverside Studio.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it was like I don't know, like a painting, and I just bought it, and I had no clue what to do with it because I too was knitting with the like acrylic and more bulky, with like super tiny needles and bulky yarn, and I was doing.
Yeah, same. I didn't know how like needles and yarn weight, like I didn't know anything about that before.
No. And then you designed your first project a few months after this?
Maybe it was in March 2017. And that was my Alaska hat that you may know. So this one, it's because I just wanted a hat with the trees and a fading sky behind. So I just created the chart on Excel just by coloring some squares. And yeah, so I took a screenshot and I had it on my phone, and I just knit the hat. And I ordered some knit picks as well for that design, because they had like a fading yarn. So I was like, that's perfect. But I'm not wearing it anymore because it's fingering weight. I don't wear fingering weight hats.
Yeah, it's too not warm enough.
Yeah, but yeah, so I designed the hat, but for myself, it was just an Excel grid. But then I posted it on Vive la Laine, which is a Facebook group, and everybody wanted me to write the pattern, but I didn't have any idea about how to write a pattern. But I just did it. I published it without having it test knitted. I just put it out there, and it worked really well. It's only one size, but still, so it was no mistakes apparently, because it works.
So and there's so many people knitted.
Yeah. And, I took a chance and it worked. So
yeah.
And now, yeah, it's so fun. I even saw once I was in the metro before the pandemic, of course, and I saw an Alaska hat that
Wow.
someone was wearing in the metro, and I was like, "Whoa!"
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And did you tell the person?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Wow.
I'm not really like
Excuse,
outgoing.
excuse
Excuse
me.
me.
And since that hat, you have published, I think, like maybe 20 or 30 more projects.
I have no idea. Let me check. Yeah, since then I published more, but I had to wait like a year before I published my second, just because I didn't have any inspiration. 1, 2, 3. Attends, wait a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 25, 27.
Ooh, almost 30.
Yeah, almost 30.
Yes. And where does your inspiration come from? Normally, is it like just something you have in your mind, or you see like a beautiful landscape and you're like, oh,
Sometimes it's something I see. Like for my leaf, it was a leaf that I saw on a tree when I was camping, and sometimes it's just pops in my head. Like I don't know. Sometimes it just it's when I'm about to fall asleep and I have an idea and I just keep it. So when I wake up in the morning, I know what I want to do. So yeah.
yeah.
It's especially at night when I go to bed that I resolve any like problems with the design, like how am I gonna make this work, or like how can I make this fit in this, like how do I do that? And it's when I'm in bed before I fall asleep that I'm gonna like fix it in my head.
Do you typically have your idea first and then think about the yarn, or sometimes you have the yarn and you get inspired with just looking at it and playing with it?
It's more now it's more the yarn first and then the idea comes, but not because I want to find like an idea for that specific yarn. It just because it happens. I don't want to force like or push any inspiration. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, I just need any other designers' patterns, and I have as much fun.
And did you find it difficult, like the jump from you design like a hat, a one-size hat, and then the jump from this to like sweater design?
Not really. My first sweater design was also my Alaska because I was my boyfriend was like monetize. So,
Good advice.
so 2 years after the hat, I published the Alaska sweater, and no, it was not the. No, it was. I mean, I just checked the Yarncraft console measurements, and you put your gauge in. I mean, not on the website, but with your measurements that you want to achieve, and then you just build it. So it was not really not. Of course, it's your first sweater, so you're like, is it gonna work out? But if you do it with the measurements, I mean, it should work.
Yeah. So the hardest part
it was not a big jump.
Yeah. And you like to grade, so it's
yeah, I love to grade. My favorite part. Because writing sentences is annoying. But like putting numbers in my Excel grid and putting my formula so that everything fits, and then if this is like sometimes I put like if functions, like if this is a multiple of 4 plus 3, put it green, or sometimes just to make sure that everything fits before I start to write the pattern. So yeah, no, it's just, this is my favorite part. And I also I count my stitches in each size that I grade. So with my row gauge, I just put my numbers and I can calculate how many stitches there is. If, of course, the person like knit it exactly to pattern with exactly the same row gauge and exactly the same short rows, because I counted with my short rows and shaping as well. So, and that's what I love the most. So now in my patterns at the end, I put like, congratulations, you have knitted like 55,000 stitches, or something like that. I
Oh,
love
that's
it.
nice. Ah,
Yeah, and that's because it's so fun.
yeah, yeah. So you like maths.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, yeah, and you seem to be good with Excel too,
Yeah,
because Excel I
I'm,
find it
I'm
really
saying Excel, but it's numbers.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Same thing.
And you started this year. I think you learned a new craft.
Singing, and
Yeah,
it's so fun.
yeah.
So
So
yeah, I got into it because when we were camping, my friend had her drop spindle, and I was just fascinated. So I just while I was camping, I ordered a spindle from Urso and some fiber. So when I got back home, I just tried it. It was very fun, but too slow for me.
mhm,
So I was not spinning that much because I felt like it was so much effort for not a lot of yarn. So I was not spinning like a lot, not as much as knitting.
mhm.
But then someday I just I had to like spend money because it happens sometimes. And I asked my friends, like, what should I do? What should I buy? Don't say yarn. I have enough. And my friend Catherine said, you should buy a spinning wheel. So I was like, oh my god, that's exactly what I wanted. That's the idea that I was needing it, but I didn't know. But now I did know, so I just purchased one through a Pompon and Café,
Mhm.
a yarn store in Trois-Rivières, and now I love to spin.
And do you?
It's so, I mean, it's much faster, but it's very fun, and I can like actually knit the yarn that I made because I have enough.
Yeah. Do you plan sometimes to make a sweater quantity of yarn?
Yes, I have a sweater quantity of fiber in my stash.
Oh, right
And
now.
yes, I have. Yeah, because I love to spend. Yeah, so I have a sweater quantity of yarn in my stash of fiber that I'm gonna
Mhm.
spin. But first, I want to get a little bit better to make sure I can make a fingering weight or a sport weight because I have 300 grams, so I cannot do it with a worsted weight. Won't
Yeah,
make me a sweater if
yeah,
it's too big. So yeah, I want to get better a little bit, and then I'll spin myself a sweater quantity, but
yeah.
not
It's
there.
so, it's so fun, and I find it so. It's also complementary to what you learn when you knit. It's like you learn that you understand more of the twist and the weight and the density of the yarn. I find it helps also to understand how the knitting will react.
Yeah,
So it's very fun to
definitely.
learn. Mm.
And just how to like place your colors in your spinning and how it's gonna end up. I love it. It's so fun.
Yeah, it's like endless. And you discover more and more makers also because I always just love to discover people who dye yarn. And then at some point I felt like I not I knew everybody, but I had
Yeah.
a idea. But then fiber is like another world, and
Yes, it is.
yeah, I love it. Yeah,
So little time.
I know, so little time, so many ideas. La la la.
Is this fiber or is it Jules?
Oh, would you like to try to spin?
Yeah, I would love to spin him.
Oh, he's so cute. It would be he would make a very cute yarn.
Yeah, I'm sure he would. But
Yes.
he's so fluffy.
And also you have a podcast with Tanya Courchaine. So you started this maybe 2 years ago.
Almost 3 years. I think it's gonna be 3 years in April. So yeah, soon enough.
Anniversary. And then you meet maybe once every 2 months if you make a
Yeah, let's say every 6 weeks.
every 6 weeks. But you have to just wait a little before you have something new to show to the podcast.
Yeah, but I always have stuff to show. It's more like the timing isn't right,
Yeah.
or like I have something or she has something on her side. Well, not anymore. We don't have any plans to go, but yeah, sometimes just work. Just like I'm tired. Sorry, just
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
Sometimes I work. I work one Saturday every month, and it's just like 3 hours, but it's enough for me to be like I don't have a weekend.
Off yeah.
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 So.
Yeah. And I don't know how it's happening, but I find that this year, even we are all at home and we have supposedly nothing else to do, I find like the weeks just go like this. And
Yes.
I can't do anything. I have anything. It's
Same.
worse than before, I find. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's but it's also because time is still passing. So the more it passes, the more it goes fast, and it's
yeah. And you do so many repetitive things, and you're like, oh, I've seen this before, and it's just like always the same day.
Yeah, it's true.
And so we can in the comments of the video, we will put the link for the YouTube channel you have with Tanya.
But it's in French, just saying.
Oh yes, it's true. So maybe people understand French, but we will put the link anyway. But it's in French. And also, I will put the link for your Ravelry page, so everyone can find your nice designs on there. And I want to thank you so much for being here today. And have a nice weekend.
Thank you. It was so fun.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.